The Great War began on the continent to the staccato sound of marching feet. On August 4th, 1914, as troops of the Imperial German Army began flooding into Belgium, it was in accordance with the Schlieffen Plan, a document drawn up in 1905 by the general bearing the same name. Within 6 hours of the initial invasion, some 1.5 million of Kaiser Wilhelm's troops were on the move towards the western frontier. The French, following a plan devised in 1913 by General Joseph Joffre, immediately hurled its 5 armies towards Metz, the ancient fortress city situated east of Verdun. The Joffre plan was a relatively simple one: muster 750,000 men in the eastern corner of France and then drive them over the German border and towards the Rhine. Unfortunately, the French army was woefully short of artillery and remarkably unprepared for the consequences of advancing soldiers across open fields into the face of machine gun fire. Accompanied by the blare of bugles, the French infantry hurled itself again and again against the German guns in a slaughter that claimed 250,000 French casualties in the opening weeks of the war. As the French offensive ground to a halt in Alsace-Lorraine, the German army moved swiftly in the north. The Schlieffen Plan called for the massive wheeling of their forces through Belgium and down into Paris. The small Belgian army, vastly outnumbered and equipped from an earlier time, offered little resistance to the German invaders, who easily overran their positions and continued the drive south into France. British troops and equipment pouring into the port of Ostend managed to check the German advance westwards towards the English Channel, but by the first week of September, the Kaiser's troops stood 30 miles outside of Paris in positions along the Marne River. As the French government fled the capital for the safety of Bordeaux, 120 miles to the south, their army prepared for the battle that would decide France's fate. Paris's huge fleet of buses, delivery trucks, and taxicabs were quickly commandeered to rush every able-bodied soldier to the defense of the city. In what would later be called the Miracle of the Marne, the German army was hurled back from the outskirts of Paris, and their advance finally halted.